All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another HF Vikings baseball broadcast. I'm Dylan Barnes. I'm going to be calling this game and the remainder of the Vikings season. This is the last regular season game for the Vikings. The playoffs start next Wednesday. And closing out this regular season, the Vikings are going to be taking on some pretty good competition. Historically, Brother Rice baseball has been fairly solid, one of the top teams in the state. And on the bump today for the Vikings, the 18-15 Vikings, is going to be a freshman, Cormac Saunders, getting his first start of the year and first appearance in a varsity uniform against a 19-14 Brother Rice lineup. Leading things off for the Crusaders of Brother Rice is going to be their catcher, Bryce Nevels. Here's the first pitch of Cormac Saunders' varsity career. It's a ball up and in to Nevels. One-0 to Nevels. Swing and a miss. Evens things at 1-1. Under it, and he'll make the catch for the first. Jackson Natanek, the second baseman, comes to the plate with one out and nobody on in the top of the first. He'll take strike one from Saunders. Breaking ball skipped in there. 1-1 now. Saunders. That's up and in. 2-1. Two-one pitch from Saunders, up and in yet again, 3-1 now. Three-one pitch is fouled back. Full count now. Natanek has gone to a full count against Saunders here in the first. Full count pitch from Saunders. Just barely off the plate. Vikings dugout wanted it, but it's a one-out walk for Natanek, and it's the first base runner of the day for the Crusaders. That's in there, strike one to Gray. A 1 pickoff attempt. Natanek able to dive back in there safely. Still 0-1 to Gray. Take ball one in the dirt from Saunders. Ball and a strike is a count to Amir Gray. Another pickoff attempt. Natanek safe at first. 1-1. Tipped foul, 1-2. One and two is a count to Gray. 3 balls, 2 strikes. It'll send the catcher, Randall Naughton, to the first varsity inning. Scoreless. Breaking ball in the dirt, 1-0. One and 0 to Naughton. Upstairs, 2-0 now. It's on the inside corner, strike one to Nauden, 2-1 now. Two balls and a strike. Here's the pitch from Saunders. Inside, maybe a bit high, 3-1 now. For the third consecutive batter, the count go board for the Crusaders. Full count, 2 outs. Here's a pitch. It's outside. It's a walk of Nauden, the second Crusaders base runner of the inning. Gavin Trusenberg will come to the dish now with runners on the corners and 2 outs in the first. Trusenberg trying to drive in the game's first run in the first half inning. Runner takes off. Here's the throw from Lund. It was a pump fake, so that runner will be on second now. So now 2 in scoring position for Trusenberg. A ball and a strike to Trusenberg. Saunders trying to get through this first unscathed. That's out, ball 2. Two balls and a strike is the count. That's popped up. Shallow right field. Ballard coming in on it. And he'll make the catch to end a scoreless top of the first inning for Cormac Saunders. So the Vikings will come to the plate with a 0-0 ball game on their hands through a half inning, scoreless. Leading off in this bottom of the first inning, it's going to be the center fielder, Dylan Head. He's led off in every game he's played in so far for the Vikes. He went 3 for 4 with 2 runs scored, and more impressively, 4 stolen bases yesterday in the Vikings' 11-7 win ahead. Grounded to Natanik at second. He's up with it, and he'll make the play for the first out of the first inning. Corey Mulling, second baseman, trying to avoid being the second out of the first inning. Mulling went 1 for 2 with a walk, a double, an RBI, and a run scored. He'll pop that first pitch foul and out of play. Also stole 2 bases yesterday. That's off the plate, 1-1 now. One from Callahan. Fouled back, 1-2 now. A ball and 2 strikes. Callahan to Mulling. 1-2. It clips him. Mulling takes a breaking ball right off his lead shoulder, and he'll be aboard for Jason Ballard's at bat. Jason Ballard, the right fielder, went 1 for 2 with 2 walks and a run scored yesterday against Marion. First pitch from Callahan, swing and a miss from Ballard. and checks on Mulling at first. Now he'll deliver to Ballard. That's off the plate, 1-1. A ball and a strike is the count to Jason Ballard. Now there's a pickoff attempt. Mulling able to dive in safely to first. Ballard enters this game with 29 walks, the most by far on the Vikings team. He's halfway to his 30th, ball 2 outside. Nobody else is even in the 20s. Next highest is Preston Lund with 18. 2 balls and a strike to Ballard. Swing and a miss. Mulling takes off. It was a hit and run, and Mulling is going to be tagged out at second base. In order for a hit and run to work, you need to do the hitting part. Ballard swung through that Callahan fastball, so Mulling was sort of left out to dry. 2-2 to Ballard now. He'll check his swing. He did not go. So the count is full now. Ballard trying to replace Mulling on first. Full count, 2 outs. Swing and a miss. Ballard goes down on strikes to end the bottom of the first inning. And through 1, we're still scoreless, 0-0. Chris Doherty, the right fielder, will lead things off for the Crusaders in this top of the second inning against Cormac Saunders. Saunders did not allow a run in the first. He walked a few. That's outside to Doherty. (1-0) to Doherty. Jam shot. Tate going back on it. He'll make the catch out in shallow left center field. So Cormac Saunders starts the second inning like he did the first with a pop-up. Third baseman Aiden Nohava is the second batter of the second inning from Saunders. That's in the dirt. 1-1 now. Count is even. 1-1 to Nohava. Ball 3 so far. That's ball 4 to Nohava. It's Saunders' third walk in just 7 batters. Still has yet to allow a hit, but he's issued 3 free passes to the Crusaders. Center fielder Ryan Hartz will try and advance Nohava. Pickoff attempt, Nohava back to first. First pitch low to Hartz, 1-0. Ball and no strikes from Saunders. That's on the outside corner, evens things at 1-1. At first. One to Hartz. Swing and a miss. That one looked like it might have hit Hartz if he didn't swing. But he was way late on it. It's 1-2 now. Another pickoff attempt. Saunders is doing a good job of keeping runners accountable at first so far. It's the third pickoff attempt of Nohava this plate appearance. At a fourth. Still 1-2 to Hartz. Saunders looking for his first varsity K. That one's tapped foul. 1-2. Still a ball and 2 strikes. Saunders is way ahead on Hartz. Not way ahead, but still up in the count. That's low. Throw from Lund is not in time to get Nohava. He swipes second. It's a second stolen base for the Crusaders today, and the double play is out of the equation now for the Vikings. Two balls, 2 strikes to Hartz. Two. Grounded foul yet again. Two balls, 2 strikes. That one's poked out into shallow right field. Ballard drifting. He'll make the catch. Nohava thought about tagging, but a good throw from Ballard kept him at second base. It's the second out of the second inning. Jason Polecki will come to bat, trying to drive in Nohava from second. Polecki will see first pitch strike from Saunders. Oh and 1 to the Crusaders center fielder. Swings through another Saunders fastball. 0 and 2. Saunders has gotten to 2 strikes a few times, but he's yet to punch out a batter. Can this be the first? 0-2. Poked into left field. And that will be caught by Chris Webb. It's another scoreless inning for Cormac Saunders, and through 1.5, neither team has recorded a hit. Preston Lund, the Vikings catcher, will lead things off for the Vikings in the bottom of the second. It's outside. Ball 2 to Lund. Here's a 2-0 from Callahan. Swing and a miss from Lund. 2 balls and a strike. Vikings searching for their first hit today. Lund will see strike 2 at the knees. Evens things at 2-2. Good piece there by Lund, but it was unfortunately right at Hart's. Isaiah White, the DH today. He'll bat with 1 out in the second. They'll pop it foul, 0-1. No balls, 1 strike to White. Breaking ball nearly hits him, 1-1. Count is even, 1-1. Here's a pitch from Taj. And while the Wi-Fi quality is good, I do know about the lagginess. Unfortunately, we're just at the mercy of the Wi-Fi speeds. Can't do much about it. So if it cuts out or lags, that's why. Don't worry, it seems to be coming back. White takes ball 3 below the zone, 3-1. So just stick with it. Through the lag, through everything. We're sorry. Nothing much we can do. Isaiah White walks as I'm explaining the Wi-Fi. It's the second Vikings base run of the day. The first was a Corey Mulling hit by pitch. Elijah Rainey, the first baseman for the Vikings, went 2 for 4 with a double and 2 RBIs, along with a run scored yesterday against Marion. A solid day for Elijah. He'll take strike 1 on the outside corner from Callahan. Pickoff attempt. White slides into first safely. Another pickoff attempt. First one was closer. Rainey taps one out into right center field. Doherty calling for it, and he'll make the catch in right field. It was off the end of the bat. If Rainey had barreled that one up, that definitely would have split the right center field gap. But it's the second out of the second inning for left fielder Chris Webb. Webb only batted once in a pinch hit opportunity yesterday. He went 1 for 1, however. He drove in a run with an RBI single. He'll hit it on the ground to Nohava at third. And Nohava will make a high throw that almost pulled Gray off the base. But he'll make the play to end the second inning. And through 2, both sides are hitless and scoreless. Top of the order is due up for the Crusaders in the top of the third against Cormac Saunders. The first hitter due up for the Crusaders, Bryce Neville's their DH. He popped and swings through. They're 3-1 now. Three balls and a strike is a count to Neville's. It's up and in, it's ball 4, and it's a leadoff walk for Saunders. Four walks in just 10 batters faced for Saunders, but he has still yet to allow a hit. Jackson Natanic was one of Connor Lyons is the pinch runner at first for Bryce Neville's. First pitch from Saunders. In the dirt, good block by Lund, keeping it in front of him 1-0. So now Lund will go out to the mound and have a chat. So I don't know if you all can hear me, but I know that the Wi-Fi quality is bad right now. I don't know what's causing it, but through it. We're not going anywhere. We're going to keep broadcasting. We'll keep pushing through it. Two and 0 is a count to Saunders. It's outside yet again, 3-0. Trying to avoid back-to-back walks to start the third. He will on that pitch. 3-1 to Natanic. Three balls and a strike is the count from Saunders to Natanic. Lyons takes off. He would have been at second anyway. It's a second walk in as many batters in the third for Saunders. And it will send pitching coach Vince Davis out of the dugout to two to Saunders. A swing and a miss right there. No balls, 2 strikes to the first baseman. 0-2 pitch. Fouled back. Still 0-2. Still 0-2 to Gray. Saunders still searching for his first punch out and first out of the third. Once again fouled off. Gray was way late on it. One ball, 2 strikes. Nobody out. It's off the plate, 2-2. Two balls and 2 strikes is the count now to Gray. Try and drive in Lyons from second. Swing and a miss. Gray goes down on strikes for the first out of the third inning. And I'm sure Cormac Saunders loves that one. Gray is a D1 committed bat, and he just struck him out for his first varsity K as a freshman. So that's a pretty fun story to tell. Randall Naughton, the catcher for the Crusaders, comes to the plate now. 2 men on and 1 out in the third. Naughton walked in the first inning. I'll tip that one foul, 0-1. It's inside, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Naughton put up a good fight so far. Just barely off the plate, 2-2 now. Two balls, 2 strikes. Saunders will spin. Gray, excuse me, not Gray. From Nod. Gavin Triesenberg flied to right field to end the first inning. Saunders will try and get him right here to end the third. Triesenberg stranded 2 runners in his at-bat in the first. Those runners on the corners. Sorry about that, situation should be fixed. Jacob Gunn just singled into left field for the first hit of either team's day. Tate swings through a fastball from Callahan. Rob Tate, the shortstop, up now. Tate went 0 for 3 with a walk in yesterday's contest. In case you have missed the first 2.5 innings, you haven't missed much. Neither team has had a hit so far before Jacob Gunn's single right there. Cormac Saunders worked out of a jam in the third inning. He walked the first 2 batters, but then settled down to strike out Amir Gray. Got Randall Naughton to fly to center, and then got Gavin Triesenberg to line to left. And now here we are in the third, in the bottom of the third. 0-2 pitch. Outside, 1-2 now. One ball, 2 strikes. Tate lines one. That's going to fall in front of Doherty in right field. It's back-to-back base hits for the Vikings, and they've got a runner in scoring position now for Dylan Head and the top of the lineup. Dylan Head grounded to second base his first time up. They'll try and drive in Gunn from second base right here. Give the Vikings a lead. That's on the outside corner, strike 1. Oh, 1 to Head. Pickoff attempt. Gunn able to be safe at second base. Triesenberg almost came in behind him and picked him off. Oh, 1 pitch. Head grounds it. That's going to be past the dive of Natanik this time. Gunn's going to be waved around. Here's the throw. It's not in time to get Gunn. And the Vikings take a 1-0 lead over the Crusaders in the bottom of the third inning. 3 straight singles in 3 straight batters to start the third inning. And the Vikings take a 1-0 lead. Corey Mulling was hit by a pitch in the first inning. He stole a base and then was later, fouled back. 0-1. He did not steal a base. He was caught stealing. Callahan has allowed 3 straight base hits to start the third. Mulling trying to make it 4. And he will! Head is going to be waved around third. Here's the throw. It's not going to be in time. 4 straight singles for the Vikings. Plate 3 runs, and they have a 3-0 lead over the Crusaders. Some small ball for the Vikings have net them 3 runs so far in the third inning, all with no outs. Jason Ballard, the only strikeout of Callahan's day, comes to the plate now. He fouled that one back. 0-1. (0-1) is the count to Ballard now. Ballard was sort of hung out to dry for his second strike in the first inning, as it was a hit and run, and it was a ball about 8 inches off the plate in the left-handed batter's box that he sort of had to lunge at to attempt to make contact with, but then he swung and missed, and then Mulling was out trying to steal second. That's a similar pitch right there. Ballard did not swing. It's 1-1 now. 1-1 pitch to Ballard. That's in the dirt. 2-1. Two balls and a strike to Ballard. Trying to join in on the hit parade. That's a fastball on the outside corner for strike 2 from Callahan. Two and 2, pickoff attempt. Mulling dives into first. Vikings entered this inning not having a hit. They'll leave with at least 4. Swing and a miss from Ballard. He strikes out for the second time today. It's only the first out of the third inning, however. Preston Lund hit a line shot right to Ryan Hartz in center field. That started the second. He'll take strike 1 on the outside corner from Callahan. Callahan's done a pretty good job of commanding that outside corner. Lund pops one on the infield. Gray calling for it in foul territory now, and he'll make the catch. So after 4 straight hits, Callahan responds with 2 straight outs. And Isaiah White will come to the plate with a man on first and 2 outs. That man on first is Corey Mulling. White walked in the second inning. He was stranded on first base. Delayed steal from Mulling. The throw from Naughton is nowhere near close. Nobody was covering. It's a stolen base for Corey Mulling. And he's now 1 for 2 on stolen base attempts today. However, one of those stolen base attempts, the one where he was caught stealing, wasn't necessarily his fault. It's 0-1 to White now. Oh, and 2 now after that foul ball. White trying to avoid being the final out of the third inning. Vikings have already added 3. They'd like to add more. 0-2. Tipped foul, still 0-2. Good fight by Isaiah. 0-2. Here's the pitch from Callahan. It's outside, 1-2 now. Mulling has taken a pretty sizable lead off second. Surprised we haven't seen him try and take off. Tipped foul yet again. Good fight. Mulling's about a quarter of the way down the baseline towards third. Wonder if we'll see him shorten his lead, or maybe see Natanik go over, try and shorten it for him. He's drifting over. He'll stay where he is. 1-2 now. Tapped on the ground. Triesenberg up with it. He's going to have to hustle. It gets away. White was going to beat out the throw anyway. Mulling comes around to score. It's the 4th run of the day for the Vikings on a single and then an error by Triesenberg. He had to hurry his throw. And it got away from Gray at first base. So it's going to be single E6. Elijah Rainey, the first baseman, comes to the plate with runner on first and 2 outs. Rainey pops that one out of play, 0-1. Rainey flied to right in the second inning. Pickoff attempt was to the wrong side of first base. If that throw was into Isaiah White's arm, maybe it could have gotten him, but Gray didn't even put the tag on him. 0-1. Swing and a miss. 0-2. Four runs on 4 hits for the Vikings. All 4 have been singles. Breaking ball tipped foul. Still 0-2. Excuse me, 4 runs on 5 hits. The scoreboard didn't give Isaiah his infield single. I did in my score sheet, because I always want the higher batting average for my guys. Count is 0-2 to Rainey. He'll strike out looking to end the 3rd inning, but not before the Vikings put up a 4 spot, and they give Cormac Saunders a bit of room to work with. Cormac Saunders back out on the bump for the Vikings. The freshman has gone 3 innings, has not allowed a hit so far. He's walked 5, however, and he'll start with Chris Doherty. He got to pop to short in the 2nd. He'll see strike 1 from Saunders. Oh, 0-1 pitch. Popped into shallow right field yet again. Ballard drifting towards the line. He'll make the catch in foul territory for the first out of the 4th inning. Excuse me. Saunders has faced the same hitters to start off the first, third, second, and fourth. He's faced Neville's, the leadoff man, to start the first and the third, and now Doherty to start the second and the fourth. Aiden Nohava will see ball one. Nohava walked in the second. He later stole second base. That's off the plate. Ball two. Two-0. That's up and in. Almost hit Nohava in the head. It's 3-0 now. There's strike one to Nohava. Fastball on the outside corner. Three-one. That's up. It's ball four. Nohava walks for the second time today. I don't think he's swung the bat today. Ryan Hartz, the center fielder, popped into shallow right field for the second out of the second inning. Saunders will try and get him right here for the second out of the fourth. That's low, ball one. Saunders has 6 walks through 3 1/3 so far. Not exactly a formula if you want to go deep into games, but he's been good so far. That one's grounded to short. This should be 2. Tate up with it. He'll fire to Rainey, and that's going to be an inning-ending double play. Rob Tate takes it himself, and a 3-batter top of the 4th inning for Cormac Saunders. Perhaps he could get the 5th. Going into the bottom of the 4th, the Vikings hold a 4-run lead over the Crusaders. We got a new pitcher in the game for the Crusaders, relieving Taj Callahan of his hill duties after he allowed 4 runs in the bottom of the 3rd inning. It's going to be Trent Guzik. Guzik will face Chris Webb, the left fielder, to start things in the 4th. Swing and a miss from Webb, 0-1. Webb grounded to 3rd to end the 2nd inning in his first at-bat. Vikings trying to add on to that 4-run lead. Strike 2 on the outside corner to Webb. Oh and 2 is the count. Guzik throws ball 1 outside. It's maybe just a little bit too far off the plate for home plate umpire's liking. 1-2. Webb flies it into right center field. Hart's over, and he'll make the catch for the first out of the 4th inning. Jacob Gunn, who got the scoring started, excuse me, not the scoring started, the hits started for the Vikings in the 3rd inning. He opened the 3rd with a line shot single to left. He scored the first run of the game for the Vikings on Dylan Head's RBI single. He'll see strike one on a breaking ball from Guzik. That's off the plate, 1-1. Ball and a strike to Gunn. Swing and a miss. 1-2 now. Guzik trying to go 2 up, 2 down to start the fourth. It's low and outside. 2-2 now. 2-2 pitch to Gunn. Tipped into the glove of Nauden. That's the first strikeout for Trent Guzik. And the second out of the fourth inning. Rob Tate, the shortstop, singled to right field and later scored last inning. He scored on Corey Mulling's single to center field. He'll hit one into right field again, and it's another single for Rob Tate. I thought that it was going to land off the bat, but I had to stop myself because Chris Doherty was charging hard. He put the brakes on and watched it fall in front of him for a 2-out single from Rob Tate. And it turns the lineup card over for Dylan Head. Head is 1 for 2 today. He singled to right for an RBI single his last time up. He scored a run. Pickoff attempt. Tate able to dive into first. An interesting note, if Dylan Head goes 3 for 4 or better today, he will have set a new HF high school batting average record of at least 505. That's the record currently. That's off the plate, 1-0. Currently he's 1 for 2, so he would need to get a hit right here and then come to the plate for a fourth time and record a hit right there. But 2 for 3 would not cut it. He would need to go 3 for 4. Breaking ball off the plate, 2-0. Head already holds the single season steals record with 35. That was last year. He's got 31 this year. That's low. 3-0. A walk would sort of ruin his chances at the average record, but I'm sure that's the least of his concerns right now. 3-0 to Head. It's ball 4. Head reaches base for the second time today and sends Corey Mulling to the plate, who has also reached base twice today. Once was a hit by pitch in the first inning. Last time up, he singled to center field, scoring 2. He later came around to score himself. There's strike one from Guzik, who had thrown 4 straight balls to Head. If Mulling can split a gap, Head can score from first right here. That's grounded back up the middle once again. Tate's going to be waved around. Here's the throw from Hartz. It's not going to be in time, and the Vikings score their 5th run of the day. Corey Mulling's second RBI single to center field, and he is 2 for 2 today. He has not gotten out so far. Some good 2-out hitting from the Vikings have added on to their 4-run lead. It's now 5, and they're not done yet. Jason Ballard coming to the plate now with 2 runners on and 2 outs. He'll hit a little jam shot out to short. Triesenberg will take it just behind the second base bag. And that ends the 4th inning, but not before the Vikings add 1. And through 4, they lead it 5-0. After a 3-batter top of the 4th inning, Cormac Saunders does get the top of the 5th. He'll face the 9-1-2 hitters in the Crusaders lineup, starting with the left fielder Jackson Polecki. He got Polecki to fly to left field his last time up. And he'll start things with a pop-up behind third base. Jacob Gunn and Rob Tate talking, and Gunn will take it in foul territory himself. 1 pitch, 1 out for Saunders to start the 5th. Leadoff hitter Bryce Nevels is 0 for 1 with a walk today. He walked in the 3rd. He popped to right field in the 1st. He'll take strike 1 from Saunders. Man, something about freshman pitching for the Vikings. Henry Humes threw 6 innings of 2-run ball against Lincoln Way East on Monday. That's up and in 1-1. And now Saunders hasn't allowed a hit through 4 1/3. His pitch count could be an issue. That's skied into left field. Chris Webb calling for it. And he'll make the catch. And to come in a little bit. It's 2 outs on 4 pitches in the 5th inning. Jackson Natanek has walked twice today against Saunders. 2 of his 6 walks. First pitch to Natanek. Just off the plate, ball 1. One and 0. Fouled off 1-1. Saunders has dialed up his control ever since he walked Aiden Ohava with 1 out in the 4th. Breaking ball, and it hits Natanek. I thought he jumped out of the way of that one, but apparently not. He's aboard with a hit by pitch. It's his 3rd time on base today. He's been stranded all 3 times. Amir Gray is 0 for 2 today. He's the only strikeout victim of Cormac Saunders' day. And he's a 1/3 of the way to being the 2nd, 0-1. That's low. Ball 1. Good block by Preston Lund behind the dish. Keeping Natanek at first. Natanek already has 1 stolen base on the day. That's strike 2 on the outside corner. A ball and 2 strikes. Gray was Saunders' first varsity strikeout in the 3rd inning. He can be his 2nd right here. 1-2. That's up and in, 2-2. Gray is a Division I bat. He's committed to Purdue. So if Saunders can strike him out twice, that's low. Lund able to keep that one in front of him. It's full now. 3-2, 2 outs. So Natanek on first will get a head start. He'll be off with the pitch. Vikings dugout is loud. This game is probably the loudest I've heard from them in a while. Full count. That's ball 4. Nothing hurt right there for Saunders. Randall Naughton is 0 for 1 with a walk today. Rob Tate giving Saunders a little bit of words of advice, telling him to just settle down. Let him put the ball in play. His defense has been stellar so far, but Saunders hasn't even allowed hard contact. Everything has sort of been soft and elevated. Lazy fly balls and pop flies. That's just below the zone, ball 1. Everybody in the Vikings dugout and on the field wanted it. Didn't get it, however. One to Naughton. It's up and in, ball 2. Preston Lund goes out to have a chat with Saunders. And as the chat is happening. Henry Humes is going to go down to the Vikings bullpen, and he'll begin throwing with a little bit of intensity. So 2 freshmen potentially in the game against a pretty good Brother Rice team. 1 freshman is currently on the bump, hasn't allowed a hit through 4 2/3. 2-0 to Nauden. Below the zone, 3-0. Saunders trying to avoid a bases loaded situation. 3-0. It's ball 4. It's up and in. Nauden walks for the 2nd time today. And it's 3 straight base runners after a 4-pitch, 2-out start of the 5th. And once again, Rob Tate, the shortstop, giving Saunders some words of advice. The senior shortstop giving the freshman pitcher a piece of his mind, but in a good way. Just telling him to settle down, have fun out there, trust his defense. After Saunders got the first 2 outs in 4 pitches, he got Policki to pop to 3rd on the very first pitch of the 5th. He got Nevels to fly to left just 3 pitches later. He's gone hit by pitch, walk, and walk to Natanic, Gray, and Nauden in that order. He'll now face Gavin Triesenberg, who he's gotten twice today. Once was a pop-up to right field. The other was a line drive right at Chris Webb out in left field. He'll try and get him for a 3rd time today. And this is Triesenberg's 3rd time coming to the plate with runners in scoring position. Came to the plate with 2 runners in scoring position in the 1st, 2 in the 3rd. That one's lined into center field. Dylan Head is going to come in on it. And the freshman, Cormac Saunders, is through 5 innings pitched and has not allowed a hit against Brother Rice. That is a sentence I thought I would never say, but he has been stellar today. Through 4.5 innings, the Vikings hold a 5-0 lead over Brother Rice. Heart of the Vikings lineup due up here in the bottom of the 5th inning, starting with the catcher Preston Lund. Lund's 0 for 2 today, however. He popped in foul territory to Amir Gray over at first his last time up. He'll face Trent Guzik, the first man out of the pen for the Crusaders, and only man so far. He'll take ball 1 upstairs from Guzik. After being held scoreless through the first 2 innings, the Vikings have scored 4 in the 3rd and 1 in the 4 in the 3rd, 1 in the 4th, and Lund is going to be aboard with an infield single. Aiden Nohava dove at 3rd base, and it just nicked off his glove, and it gave Preston Lund enough time to scurry on over to first base with a leadoff single. It's the first time since the 3rd inning that the Vikings have gotten their leadoff man aboard, and in that 3rd inning, the Vikings scored 4. Josh Moore is going to be the courtesy runner, not pinch runner, over at first base for Preston Lund. Isaiah White has not been retired so far today. He's walked and singled on the day. He'll square bunt, pull back. That one nearly hit him. Moore got a little bit off first. Nauden thought about back picking him. He smartly chose not to. 1-0 is the count to Isaiah. Pickoff attempt. Moore dives in safely to first. One ball, no strikes to White still. He'll see strike one on the outside corner. 1-1. One pitch. Popped into shallow right field. And that will be caught in foul territory by Jackson Natanek. Good play out there going to his left. It's the first out of the 5th inning for Elijah Rainey, who is 0 for 2 today. He struck out looking in the 3rd. He's got a man on first and one down in the 5th. Moore takes off. Rainey ropes it. No catch over there at first by Nohava, and that's going to be an infield single for Elijah. Nohava knocked it down, but was not able to put a firm glove on it and keep it in the glove. So it gave enough time for Elijah to run to first, and he's aboard. Now 2 on, 1 out for the left fielder, Chris Webb. He's 0 for 2 today. He flied to center his last time up. He squares bunt and fouled it back. 0-1 now. And 1 is the count to Webb. He'll take ball 1 upstairs. Count is even, a ball and a strike. Webb on the ground. Triesenberg up with it. No, he's not up with it. It's scooted out of his glove. And it's the bases loaded once again for the Vikings. A lot of infield hits this inning for the Vikings. They've got 3 of them. Bases are loaded for Jacob Gunn, who's 1 for 2 today. And he is now 2 for 3. An RBI single for Jacob Gunn plates the Vikings' 6th run of the day. And it's 3 straight base runners and 3 straight hits for the Vikings. Robert Tate is 2 for 2 today. He's singled to right both times, came around to score both times. So a good man to have up right here. Bases loaded, 1 out. Tate checks his swing. It was a strike. I don't think that was on the swing. I believe it was a called strike anyway. You'll see strike 2. Very quickly, 0-2 to Tate. 0-2 pitch from Guzik. Tate lines it into the right center field gap. Doherty over. He'll make the catch. Rainey is going to tag, and he's going to score, and the Vikings take a 7-0 lead over the Brother Rice Crusaders. Sacrifice fly for Rob Tate. Gives him his first RBI of the day. He's had productive at-bats today, 3 of them. 2 singles and a sac fly for Rob. It's the top of the lineup now in Dillon Head. Runners on first and second, 2 outs in the 5th. He walked in the 4th his last time up. And he is going to ground to Amir Gray at first base. And that is going to end the 5th inning. But the Vikings do scratch across 2. And they lead at 7-0 through 5 innings. We got a new pitcher in the game for the Vikings, relieving Cormac Saunders of his pitching duties after Saunders went 5 no-hit innings for the Vikings. It's going to be another freshman. So both freshmen on the Vikings roster have pitched today. The freshman on the bump right now is the righty Henry Humes. This is Humes' first appearance since he went 6 innings and 2 earned runs against the #1 team in the state, Lincoln Way East. He got the win in that game. He'll face Chris Doherty to lead off this top of the 6th inning. Doherty's 0 for 2 today. Strike 1 from Humes. Humes is going to try and finish what Saunders started. Crusaders still do not have a hit through 5. That one's chopped towards Gunn at third. He's up with it. And a good throw retires Doherty for the first out of the 6th inning. Jacob Gunn continues to be a human vacuum at third base. He's only made 1 error all year, and that was yesterday. On May 18th, he made his first error. That one's lined into right field. Jason Ballard going over, and he'll retire Aiden Nohava on the first pitch. Nohava saw. So through 3 pitches, Henry Humes has retired 2 batters. And Ryan Hartz, the center fielder, is 0 for 2 as well. The last time he was up, he bounced into an inning-ending double play to end the 4th. It was a ground ball to Rob Tate that Tate stepped on the base himself and then threw to Rainey at first. Ball 1, low and out. One ball, no strikes to Hartz. That's fouled back, 1-1. After seeing Saunders, Humes is sort of an increase in velocity, which it's not usually the case for Humes. Humes is one of the softer throwing pitchers on the Viking staff, but he's a bump up from Saunders. That's low and out, 2-1. Two-one pitch to Hartz. It's chopped over the head of Humes, Mulling up with it, and he'll retire Hartz for a 1-2-3 top of the 6th inning. So through 5.5, the Crusaders do not have a hit, and the Vikings have 7 runs. They're just 3 outs away from doing something. We'll come back with the bottom of the 6th with the Vikings looking to add to their 7-run lead. Another new pitcher in the game for the Crusaders, relieving Trent Guzik. It's going to be Gabriel Kina. He'll face the top of the Vikings lineup. Well, not exactly top. Corey Mulling, the 2-hole hitter for the Vikings, will lead things off in the bottom of the 6th. Mulling has not been retired so far today. He's 2 for 2 with a hit by pitch. He's singled to center twice and has 3 RBIs on the day. Add a second hit by pitch to that. He wears one off the helmet. He uses his head to take his second hit by pitch of the day, and it's a leadoff base runner for the Vikings in the 6th. Mulling is not shaken up whatsoever. He was able to jog down the first. That's a good sign to see because we've seen some pretty scary incidents with players being hit in the head. Jason Ballard, who is 0 for 3 today, will step in. You'll see ball 1 from Keena. Ballard's last at-bat ended the 4th with a pop-up to the shortstop, Triesenberg. That's in there, 1-1 now. Vikings dugout did not like that call. They were somewhat vocal about it. That's strike 2 on the outside corner. Ball and 2 strikes is a count to Ballard. He'll try and advance Mulling from second after his leadoff hit by pitch. One, 2. Breaking ball roped into center field over the head of Triesenberg, and Jason Ballard has his first hit of the day. A single sending Mulling to second. Back-to-back base runners for the Vikings start the 6th. Preston Lund started the 5th inning with an infield single to third base. His courtesy runner Josh Moore came around to score on Jacob Gunn's RBI single. Lund's 1 for 3 today. Still nobody out in the 6th. Lund smokes one into the left center field gap, and Pollocky is able to cut it off, but not before a run comes in for the Vikings. Throws a second, and Lund is safe at second base with an RBI double. The 8th run of the day for the Vikings. And just like that, the 10-run rule is in effect. Josh Moore replaces Preston Lund at second, and he does represent the game-ending run. So if Moore can score right here, along with Ballard, Vikings will have a 10-run lead after 5 innings, so the game is going to come to an end. First pitch by Isaiah, and that one gets away from Nodden, and Jason Ballard is going to score standing up, and that moves the winning run 90 feet closer, and it's now 90 feet away. So all Isaiah White needs to do is put a ball in play, and the ball game is going to be over. And now Crusaders are going to go infield in and outfield in as well. That one's a jam shot pop-up. Gray calling for it. At first, he'll make the catch. 1 out in the 6th now. Elijah Rainey is 1 for 3 today. He hit a line shot to third base that Aiden Ohava could not come up with on a 1-hop for his first hit of the day. That's on the outside corner, strike 1. Rainey also came around to score on Robert Tate's sac fly last inning. 0-1. Off the plate, ball 1, excuse me. One ball, 1 strike, 1 out in the 6th. Swing and a miss from Rainey. 1-2. One and 2 is a count. Here's a pitch from Keena. Breaking ball smacked out into center field. Hart's going back on it. He's not going to have a play on it. That one one-hops the fence, and the Vikings win 10-0. They slaughter rule the Brother Rice Crusaders, and more importantly, Two freshman pitchers combine to no-hit them. Cormac Saunders goes 5 innings of no-hit ball. He did walk 7, but it doesn't matter. Did not allow a hit. And then Henry Humes went 1, 2, 3 in the top of the 6th to finish it off. And for the second time this year, Vikings pitchers allowed no hits in a game. The first one was a 7-inning solo no-hitter by Nico Bilgi against Bradley. That was a walk-off win by Elijah Rainey. So Elijah Rainey has put an end to 2 no-hitters this year. And the Vikings move to 19-15 on the year, and that is going to be their final record for the 2023 season. That ends the regular season on a great note for the Vikings, and hopefully they use that momentum and carry it with them into the playoffs. They'll face Andrew next Wednesday at home. It's a big game for the Vikings. It's at 7:30 next Wednesday, May 24th. Please, please, please come out, show your support for these guys. They've worked so hard all year, and they're starting to get hot at the perfect time. If they win then, they'll play again Saturday against one of the top teams in the state, but once again it is at home. HF is hosting the first 2 games of the regional finals. So if we win against Andrew, we would play Providence Catholic at home on Saturday. So 2 pretty big games for the Vikings upcoming on the schedule, but they got to get through Andrew first next Wednesday. Once again, please come out to the game. Make the Andrew fans outnumbered. Make them feel like it was a home game for the Vikings the entire time, even though we will be the away team in that game technically. A great game for the Vikings. They take a 10-0 win over the Brother Rice Crusaders. Cormac Saunders, Henry Humes, phenomenal job. No hits. 6 walks, however, though, but we're not going to talk about that. The more important thing, no hits, no runs, 10-0 Vikings. For everybody here at the HF Viking baseball program, I'm Dylan Barnes. Have an outstanding night, everybody.